Beasnael, we are not the same. I am here with a beautiful sister, someone who I look up to, the beautiful Tanika Ray. Tanika, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. I really, really appreciate you.
Oh, you're welcome. Well, I'd like to start off by saying what a beautiful background you have in your house. What is
Thank
that your
you.
painting? Ooh.
Well, but I painted this, which you'll appreciate. She's got a
Oh, I
little
see it.
turban.
Yes, it's a
Yes.
turban. Yes, yes.
And then my sister's down here.
oh wow.
This, I get them everywhere. She's drinking coffee with a mug that says "Choose You."
Oh wow.
Even though the artist is not of a woman of color, but I still appreciate.
It's beautiful. It's absolutely gorgeous. And I am looking at it and I'm thinking, actually, there's more. You have more. Oh my goodness. Oh my
It's a
goodness.
whole wall. That's what
Yes.
happens when you're raising a little princess in the making, a little chocolate chip who is favored and blessed. You have to remind her who she is and where she comes from.
Absolutely. That's actually well said because, I mean, growing up, I didn't have to be reminded of who I was, right? You just saw it everywhere. And it was just the norm. But in today's age, you just touched on a subject that I know that, you and I are very passionate about. Is how do we continually remind the future whom we've created about their past and about their strength? So would you like to elaborate more on that as a,
Yeah, I think I've heard this before from people who grew up in Africa because it's everywhere. Everyone's brown and beautiful and melanated and fabulous. So you see your reflection everywhere you go. Here in America, as you see in this country, efforts are consistently being made to erase our history, to erase our contributions, to erase our fabulous sort of, specialness, to be perfectly honest. So from the history books that say we literally do nothing but take orders from NASA, to commercials where, it's always something, there's always these companies that come out with racist advertising. You're like, y'all knew, like, how did you not know? But it's the willful ignorance that keeps us sort of in this dark space of not seeing ourselves out there as we truly are. We see ourselves in our mirror, but if that's not confirmed over there and up there, then we start to question what we see in the mirror, isn't it? So for my raising a daughter has really highlighted and has really amplified the fact that I too was a little brown girl growing up in America. And I too went to schools that were predominantly Caucasian because unfortunately, those schools have the best education. And we all know that education is a tool to freedom, right? So if we are going to go that route, I mean, it's unbelievable we don't have Black billionaires with schools with their names on it. I don't understand. Maybe that's by design in this country. They make it super hard. But we don't. And until we do, we have to work it the best way we can under their education systems. And it is vital that we supplement because they're never going to teach us who we are. We have to know and remind ourselves exactly who we are.
wow, well said. Supplementing, knowing who we are, it begins at home and with us. Just like what you pointed on your wall, it begins with choosing us. I think when I had the epiphany when I came to America and I realized that, whoa, there are several different, faces, but also I have to constantly remind everyone of where I come from. That was a shock. That was a big shock.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? Before we go into all of that, I know you're full of energy. You're a bomb diggy mom, like you always say. Hey, right?
Yes.
You know what? You're in your dance moves. I'm excited.
Yes, it gives me life. It's
Yes.
everything.
Yes. Tell us a little bit about who you are and where you started from.
Oh, that's a great question. It's tricky. I am Tanika Ray, and I'm a native of Los Angeles, California, which I always say was a blessing because I couldn't imagine with my mindset now growing up in the South, where it's really marginalized. And I feel like I have a great responsibility on my shoulders because I was born free. I have free mentality. I see my brothers and sisters who have shackles on their minds. They're mentally shackled, and that is the scariest part of what we are trying to fight right now. And I hate the word fight, but what we're trying to evolve out of, right, is this constant conditioning from somebody else's purview of who we are. So oh wow, we're gonna have to get into my age, but I'm a grown woman. And I started my career in television as an actress first, and then I moved into dance.
Hold up,
Yes.
pause. An actress, what was one of the favorite movies that I think we all discovered?
No. I don't even think I did. I did one movie as a dancer called Living Out Loud, which was an amazing film. I did a lot of TV shows like Living Single, and I did Wayans Brothers, and I did NYPD Blue. But I knew at that point, I was like, this isn't it. Like, I studied theater at Spelman because I knew I was supposed to speak to people and get messages across. But once I got into acting, I was like, this isn't it. Wow. Because which taught me at a very young age, we have got to stay present at all times. It's not, I had a dream 10 years ago, so this is what I dreamed, so I got to keep doing it. I thought I was supposed to be a TV person. I thought I was supposed to be an actress and win Oscars. And then when I was in it, I was like, this is so powerless. I'm just regurgitating somebody else's words. And I have to play a character other than me. And it really taught me that my favorite character to play is me. I just want to be myself, and I want to bring people into all the things that I've learned along the way. I've been going to therapy since I was 20, when our community is just now starting to understand how important it is to go counsel with somebody with an unbiased opinion. If anybody deserves counseling, it is the Black community who is being attacked mentally and physically every single day of our lives. So there's a lot that I can help people understand. And which is why, after acting, and then I had a dance career, and then I was like, still not it. I love dance, but I knew it wasn't a life thing. You grow out of dancing. Well, kind of, except for TikTok.
No, I've seen you on TikTok, okay?
And then I found hosting. And I was like, wow, I get to be sort of the leader here. No matter who I'm in an interview with, I'm the boss. I get to direct the moment. I get to connect with people. That's another one of my passions, is connection. I grew up in a time when connection was rooted in how much money do you have? What do you look like? But true connection is from the heart, and it's from your mentals, right? Yeah. Which is why we love Clubhouse so much, because it hits us on all these chakras. It's the most intimate social media platform because you get to hear what people think and literally fuse energy with people and what their mindset is. So from television and hosting, which was an amazing, and I still host a lot of virtual hosting, but I'm ready to take it global now. Now that I know how to do this, how can I help my community and all melanated people in unshackling their minds and being exactly what our destiny is without all that conditioning that is weighing us down?
Wow, Tanika. You said two things that hit home for me: mentorship, connecting with people. I feel like I grew up with a whole community around me because of what my father did as his job. He was a diplomat, now he's a pastor. So my world was always different kinds of people around me. But if, we want to go to a movie that recently portrayed us in a more positive light, Black Panther, I remember that Chala, he always had a sense of, going back to his mentors. So mentorship has always existed in our community, but it was somehow transformed in a different, view. And we've had issues with just accepting it as a normal daily thing to stay healthy. Connecting globally is key. I've watched you. Thank you, Instagram. Thank you, Facebook. Thank you, TikTok, right? Because I can leave
I love
everything.
that.
You see me stalking you, right? But I get
I
to
know.
see, you know, I must say this. I applaud you for being transparent and letting us into your home. And also just growing up with your little girl and being a mom, you know, we can relate to that, right? But I mean,
Absolutely.
yeah. But how has the pandemic affected you? I know we're coming out of the pandemic, but how did it affect you?
I mean, are we coming out of the pandemic?
Ah, you know,
Um,
I was waiting for that question.
I know. It affected me in a very serious way. It was really, really hard at times.
Yeah.
Because I'm a single mom with my daughter. Her dad indeed is in her life every single day. He lives 7 minutes away. But when it comes down to being quarantined, it is her and it is I. When it comes down to keeping us safe, that's on my shoulders. When it comes down to making decisions on what is best for us to do, we have to order from, Whole Foods on Amazon, get a whole bunch of supplies in here in case something goes down. And that still remains to this day. So when it comes down to that, regardless of who lives nearby, I'm the boss. I'm responsible. I've got to keep my child safe. But I also have to keep her sanity in the right space as well, her wellness. And sitting in this house every single day as a 5-year-old, remind you, we went into the pandemic and she was 5.
Yeah.
She was a baby in kindergarten. She had just finished in the middle of the first year of school.
Right.
So she was learning how to be more independent and learning about homework and all of that. And then pandemic hit, and suddenly all this money I'm paying to her school, I got to do the work. And you still get paid?
Yeah.
Well, that's a problem. Because even though I understand I'm a mom, I get that. And there's a lot of stuff that comes with that title. There are a lot of things that people are like, well, moms do this. And I say, I hear you in what you think a mom is. But like everything else in my life, I do not fit into a box, nor do I want to fit into a box, nor do I think I need to fit into a box. What I want to make sure that I am putting on or displaying for my child is that being a mom isn't my whole existence. Yes, I love her more than anybody in the world. Yes, God trusted me with nurturing her brilliant little mind and her spirit. Yes, I know by having a baby, I have a responsibility. But at the same time, I'm still Tanika Ray. I still have dreams and aspirations. I still have all these things that I need in my life as well. And it was a really rough go when 6 hours out of the day, I'm supposed to be all of a sudden a teacher. And it caused so much friction because my daughter she wanted me to sit right there. She wanted to have her handheld. It was just a rough time. And she was lonely and she didn't have any friends around because we're alone. And it was so many things compiled. And I will always say thank you to D Nice, who just gave us such a beautiful platform to feel connected to all of our friends at Club Quarantine and all the things that did pop up to make us feel good. I mean, we watched a lot of movies. We did a lot of homework. We actually, by fall of 2020, and I love that you're in that store, we knew our community that in her school, we understood that it is our responsibility to fill our kids' heads with love of self, right? That they're not going to get it anyplace else. So we created this African dance class, and I called on King Dante. You might know him from the Crenshaw area. He does a lot of performances down there, to come to the Valley with the brilliant female drummer, Tani.
Well, what did you think? Join us next week for another beautiful conversation with our surprise guest, Sheshe.